Hey, folks, sorry about that. Hey, folks, welcome to the Leeds View for the post-match reaction to Leeds United 2. I didn't change the background again. Did it again. There we go. No, that's the wrong one. Give me 2 seconds. I get the right background up now in a sec. How y'all doing? I hope you're well. That was a nuts game of football. I hope your hearts are all good because someone said in the chat there. I hope you invested in a Fitbit because your points will be off the board at this point. Yeah, heart and mouth game. One of those games where you just, if you're at the ground, don't leave early. Do not leave early because this side have shown time and time and time and time again this season the amount of character, the amount of heart, the amount of effort that this side puts in. They're never out, even in a game where when you look at the momentum graph and when you look at the statistics, Leeds were second best tonight against, for my money, a very, very good Bournemouth side who I was incredibly impressed with how they played, the speed they play at, how good they were in transitions. And we defended so well for large portions of the game. 2 moments in it where they managed to get their 2 goals. Well worked ones, good goals as well. Some minor issues with them, but again, very well worked goals. And Leeds still managed to dig out a performance and dig out, well, not a performance necessarily, but dig out a result. And yeah, that's huge for Leeds. And again, another side in and around the top 6 that Leeds have managed to get something from. But look at that momentum graph. Outside of Arsenal this season, I have not seen Leeds that under pressure from any side. And I think some of our defenders had massive games. Now, I'm a bit hyper right now after that because I thought when they, by the way, has anyone checked on Tyler Adams? Is he all right now after his big celebrations after his assist? I mean, I know he doesn't get many assists or goal involvements, but can someone go and check on Tyler Adams and make sure his little head is okay? Because my God, he took that moment and like Xavi Simmons at the weekend for Spurs. Don't celebrate too early, Tyler. Yeah, maybe learn from that one. So yeah, someone go see if he's okay. Someone said there, Pascal man the match. I thought Pascal stroke was huge today for Leeds. I thought from the first whistle to the last whistle, he was on top of everything. His reading the game, his positioning, his ball winning, absolutely outstanding. I thought BL was really, really good dealing with Even Nielsen for large portions of that game. And the Leeds had to change it. When Daniel Farke had to be reactive in his changes, he got them bang on. He got them absolutely spot on. And the changes give Leeds the first goal, and the second set of changes give Leeds the second goal. So pat on the back for the manager, pat on the back for the defenders. And it's weird. You look at this game and you think 2 goals, probably not a massive defensive performance, but I think Leeds were huge in defense today, especially that 3 in the back, especially BL Stroke and James Justin. I thought they were absolutely excellent. I think that's a really good Bournemouth side. Like normally I'd come on here and people have a pop at me for being negative or whatever. And I'd say Leeds didn't move the ball quick enough, or Leeds weren't good enough in transition, or Leeds didn't get back quick enough, or Leeds weren't doing the simple things well. But for me today, this was about how good Bournemouth were, how quickly they moved the ball forward, how fast they got bodies up and back in transition, and Leeds had to deal with that. And the way they swarm press. I mean, there are similarities between Andoni Iraola's style and Marcelo Bielsa's, because obviously Iraola is a disciple or played under Marcelo Bielsa as well. And you can see that in that swarming pockets they have to try and get back in defense. But Leeds had to deal with that, and Leeds had to find their own way to win a game today. And I mean, that first half, we were constantly under pressure. Very good defensive performance to get in 0-0. We were hoping to see changes. And then some people would say, well, Farke wanted to sit back and blah, blah, blah. Are we safe, says Sir Royston? Possibly. I'd like one more, but yeah, 40 points, we should be okay. But people would say like maybe Farke was too defensive. Our players were minding their minutes before the semi-final of the FA Cup. And I really don't think it was any of that. Like genuinely, I think you have to give Bournemouth credit for being really, really good today. And that's a good side who played good football and very quick football and the fitness and the legs that they have. So again, you take all of that and you put it up against Leeds. And Leeds defended really, really well for large portions. Not everybody was perfect tonight. There was clearly was conceded 2 goals, so clearly it wasn't a perfect performance. But as Yvonne is saying there in the chat, our mentality was huge today. It's this side don't give up. Jaden Bogle was off. It's been said by Baz, and I think we know why. Jaden Bogle picked up an injury in the first half. He was stood on twice in the space of 5 minutes in the first half, and that had a huge part to play, I think, because he was so far off it in the first half. It's nothing like we've seen him play for the 2 seasons he's been with us. So yeah. By the way, I'm seeing the rumors as well that Sunderland are going to sack Reggie Slippery if they don't get into Europe, which is nuts, by the way. Nothing to do with Leeds, but that's absolutely Absolutely nuts. But yeah, look, Carl Darlow again tonight had some really, really big moments. Really big moments. Stroke as well, Bial as well, Justin as well. Some really good blocks at very important times. Out Tanaka gives the ball away for their first goal, but it's still a beautiful pass and a really good run off the shoulder. And then the finish takes a bit of a deflection. But I thought even outside of that, he had a good game tonight. His ball retention at more often than not, part of one was actually pretty decent. Ethan Ampadu, few wobbly moments early on in the game, but then grew into it. And I thought he was excellent in the middle of the park for Leeds as well. Again, dealing with a very mobile and adaptive midfield that Bournemouth had tonight. Cavalier winning his headers. Aronson working his socks off up front as well. Actually, funny enough, we saw the more physical side of Brendan Aronson's game tonight and not the other side of his game, which is the, close control at times. But he had a couple of moments as well. But yeah, Peter saying Darlow man the match. I think, yeah, Brendy was fine. Brendy was fine. I'm messing. I'm joking a little bit tongue in cheek. I thought he made some very good runs, especially when the system changed. All of a sudden, Aronson was getting space in that middle of the park to get the ball in the half turn and run them. That caused problems. Metcha coming on as well, I thought, was really, really good as well. And I'm thinking even if we'd lost this game 2-1, you're coming away saying, look, it's a very good side you're playing against. They played well. They probably deserved it. We're not always going to get the results that we deserve. That's a huge point. And again, to see them pushing on, because Sean Longstaff, since he's come back from his injury, hasn't looked necessarily the same player that he was before he went away. And that's probably because of lack of minutes. But my God, what a volley from Sean Longstaff. And what a moment to step up and have a big, big moment for Leeds United. Ethan Ampadu's long throw-in as well. 2 goals tonight on the back of or connected to throw-ins. So great to see that coming back in as well. So yeah, look, a very different game that Leeds have faced recently. They'll be tired after that. They'll need to get in the ice baths immediately and make sure they're okay for Sunday's game. They've got a little bit of time. But yeah, just look, what can you say? Lost me mind when the equalizer went in. I wasn't sure. And then you thought, they're going to rule this out, aren't they? They're going to ruin our fun here. But they didn't. They didn't. And yeah, we are also forgetting that they did have a third goal that went in the back of the net. And luckily, Pascal's arse is slightly narrower than it looks in those shorts. And his shoulder was slightly more offside than that. And it gets ruled out for offside. But yeah, big moments went our way at times tonight as well. Defensively and attackingly as well. But yeah, overview-wise, huge character shown by this bunch of players. Yet again, they just do not give up. Being as disagreeing, Brandon Aronson wasn't great. His contribution was running around. I mean, the half turn of the run to the penalty area was pretty decent. It is technically running around. But yeah, I'm not going to have a pop at these players today. I thought they've given everything tonight for that short, and that's what the minimum we expect of these players. Were Leeds the better side? No, they were. They were far the better side. Everything backs it up. The eye test even backs it up. But when Leeds got their moments, and Daniel Farkas spoke about this a lot this year, that when Leeds get their moments in games, they've got to be more clinical. They've got to be clinical. And I think Leeds were clinical with the very limited chances that we got tonight. Huge heart from them. And again, as I said, I think the big moments, we got them right more often than not. I mean, it could have been any scoreline before the second one went in. And everyone was saying it. Look at the momentum graph. The goals both felt like they were coming with the pressure they were putting on us. We had small pockets of possession, which were okay. Individually wise, again, Stroke I thought was absolutely excellent. Bial I thought was absolutely excellent. By the way, they're your Finalysis scores before someone has a go at me for promoting Finalysis. I've been working with Finalysis all year. And yes, this is a job. So yes, I do have a corporation, as someone asked last week, that I have to look after. But instead of using the Sofa Scores algorithm, we're using Finalysis because you guys vote for the scores on that. It's completely fan-led. So there's your scores there. We'll go through them in a bit more detail in a second. Metro, when he came on, thought was really, really good. I thought Ethan Ampadu, very good job. And Carl Darlow, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal in goal again tonight. That save that he makes in that first half. Again, similar to last week, except with his foot this time. He's going the wrong way and he still sticks the leg out. Instinctive and reflexes. Excellent stuff by him. Team performance overall, I think defensively very, very good. Bar 2 moments. But again, they're individual moments. Like it's Tanaka giving the ball away for the first one. The cross comes in. It's John Longstaff doesn't track the run of Tyler Roberts and that cross comes in. If they do their jobs, it doesn't happen. But outside of that, they worked both those goals quite well. And outside of that, Leeds handled them mostly, dealt with them. I was nervous. I mean, it wasn't comfortable handling them, but we handled them. We got the ball away when we needed to. And again, we got our moments. The goals for Leeds, big moments, both sets of subs impacting the game. Willie Nanto with the shot that takes the deflection and finds its way into the back of the net. But if you don't shoot, you don't score. And then Sean Longstaff with that volley at the end, just scenes. I mean, if that was an Ellen Road, oh my God, limbs. There'd be bodies everywhere, peeling people off the roof for a week. But yeah, huge moment. Referee, pretty anonymous for most of the game, gave us what we needed to But yeah, you got to be happy with that. Moves Leeds on to 40 points now. Yeah, Okafor, sorry, hit the post. Very, very good shout there by Peter as well. Yeah, he did hit the post. They hit the crossbar as well with a header. So yeah, an eventful game. I don't know if I'll sleep after. I'm knackered, but I don't know if I'll sleep after this. But it does give us a bit more momentum. That's unbeaten in 7 now in all competitions. String all the results together. Can we go and do Chelsea who've sacked Liam Senior? I really wanted them to hang on to him till the weekend. I was gutted. Absolutely gutted. When I saw him getting sacked today, I was like, can you not just hold your bottle till the weekend? Let us get that result and then sack him. Also, it would be nice for Leeds to have gotten Amarin sacked and then go off and get Senior sacked as well. But well, we'll have to wait as well. But yeah, sorry, Peter, keep me in check tonight, pal. Keep me in check. Peter's also saying that Mecha was unlucky as well. That volley by Mecha was excellent, by the way. First time on this run. Fantastic volley, very unlucky. And Baz is up at 4:30 a.m. God, thanks, Baz. Appreciate you watching it. Thanks to everyone who's watching tonight, by the way. I really do appreciate you spending your time. It is a late one tonight, so I appreciate you joining me. If you could hit the like button, that helps the video to get out to more people. That's the best way you can support this channel, and I would appreciate that. So yeah, where does it leave Leeds? 40 points, 9 points ahead of Tottenham Hotspur, who do have that game in hand. Got to go win it. They're likely to beat Wolves, but after that, West Ham, Forest, and Spurs have a really tricky set of games, and Leeds are in there with Spurs anyway. But the other ones, cheers, Pete. Spurs are in there as well. So Forest, I wouldn't. Forest and West Ham, I think, of the trickier of the run-ins at this point. The next 3 games specifically, we go to 5 games to go. That is what, 15 points? No, it's not. It's 4 games to go now, isn't it? 12 points available, 9 points clear. One more win will make it mathematically possible, or 1 defeat for Spurs or one of those sides, and we keep going. So yeah, really, really good. Jerry, thanks for watching over and big up as well. I did lose my absolute mind when we scored the second goal. First goal as well, but the second one, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I love these moments. But thanks to everyone who watched the big up. Right, we'll go through the first half because there were negatives in the first half, but there were also some positives in the first half. And I think it depends on what way you want to look at the game and what way you want to assess it. Because from a positive perspective, it's the defense. And there's 2 sides to football, attack and defense. And from a defensive perspective in the first half, Stroke was excellent. Absolutely excellent. I thought Tanaka's work rate in that midfield was really, really good in the first half. Only talking about the first half at this point. And how Jakub Bial dealt with Ivan Nielsen. Now, he scores when Bial's gone off. So I'm adding Ivan Nielsen to the list of number 9s that Jakub Bial has pocketed this season. I thought he handled them really, really, really well. But the negatives were, we looked a little bit off in the first half. We looked a little bit leggy at times as well. The passing was a bit sloppy. Most of it was coming from Bogle. I think Bogle went off with 48% passing accuracy in the first half. But we now know there was an injury there. There had to be, because that's just not Jayden Bogle that we're used to seeing at all. The movement wasn't probably enough movement in the first half either. But again, focus on the defensive side of it was really, really good. Second half, we actually came out of the blocks pretty quickly. Started the second half. I thought we were going to fix this. Rodon comes on. You think, right, we're going to have a crack here. And Aronson gets that run through, beats 2 players, runs into the penalty area, lays it off to Okafor. His shot is blocked. But it's a good start. Then Bournemouth had 50 minutes, 5 minutes in. They have a massive, massive, massive chance that gets smashed across the Leeds United goal. And I don't know how they don't score. I think it's True Fair. It could be wrong. But I actually go check that out, actually, because it's massive. It's actually not even going to be classified as a chance because they didn't make any contact with it. But yeah, huge chance at the back post. Gabriel does enough to put him off. They look for a penalty. They don't get it. 54 minutes. I wrote down we're conceding far too many crosses, and then we concede. Bournemouth score. Kupri cuts Leeds open. Absolutely cut Leeds open. Tanaka loses the ball in midfield. Then Senesi plays a beautiful ball through for Kupri to run onto it between the 2 centre halves. And if you're a striker, it's a really good run. It's the run you're supposed to make. Split the defenders, run through. And then, unfortunately, Roland can't get enough on it. And then maybe the touch takes it over Carl Darlow. Maybe it doesn't. Then Leeds have a massive chance 2 minutes later to equalise straight away. Hill gives the ball away right on the edge of the box, and Noah Okafor nicks it off and runs through on goal. And his little dink over the goalkeeper just bobbles across and clips the post before coming back out. Huge moment. Then Daniel Farke makes the changes. Off goes Bial, off goes the Okafor, on comes Nanto, and on comes Mecha. And it changed. It absolutely turns on that moment. All of a sudden, Leeds look far better. Leeds are getting a go with them. Leeds are more composed in possession. We're probably going back to front a bit quicker, and we're not passing out from the back as much as we tried in the first half. It's far more direct by Leeds. We get a chance pretty much straight away. Goodmunson cross towards Mecha, touched the ball, has a shot, goes over the crossbar. 2 minutes later, Leeds have another shot. Aronson on the half turn again, runs forward, plays the ball into Mecha, who twists and turns in the penalty area, and his shot is blocked, and then Leeds score. Within the space of 3 minutes, Leeds went from being making the changes. Did DCL have a shot? No, but he held the ball up really well, Dale, and he won a lot of headers. So his link-up play was decent tonight. A lot of thankless work from DCL tonight, but he was there and he was keeping them busy. Yeah, but there's only 3 minutes between, 4 minutes between the substitutions and the goal. It definitely made a big change in the game. The goal does come. It's a long throw in. It's flicked on by Joe Roden at the front post. It bounces around the penalty area, and then eventually Willie Gnonto, and DCL's in that mix as well, putting pressure on them, drops to Willie Gnonto, and his shot goes in off of Hill to get us back in the game. And I wrote down subs have changed it. Leeds were far better at that point. They're more dangerous, more direct. And then Bournemouth made their set of changes, and it swung straight back towards Bournemouth. And they get a chance straight away. Rayan's shot pulled across the box to Ryan Christie. Rayan's shot. Tanaka gets it and blocks it. Then Bournemouth have another excellent chance. Very good in transition. 80 minutes, Leeds are sitting back again. So we'd started to drop off. They'd started to push onto us again. Longstaff comes on for Aronson in the 93rd minute, and then they score their second in the 85th. And ironically enough, it's Sean Longstaff who doesn't track the run of Tyler Adams. He gets his moment in the sunshine, Tyler, and has his moment, gives it all this to the Leeds crowd, crosses it in, and Rayan finishes lovely in the corner, and he soaks it all up. But he soaked it up far, far too early. They got a third. It was ruled out. They hit the crossbar, didn't go in. And then, even Nielsen, I gave him a goal that he didn't actually get. Even Nielsen got a goal and doesn't count because he was offside. So he doesn't get a goal tonight. And then in the last dying minute, Leeds get the equaliser. Long throw in, bobbles around, cleared out, and then Longstaff just smashes it on the volley straight in the corner. Question mark whether Joel Piroux was interfering with the goalkeeper. Everybody was. So you can keep that. Flies into the corner, 2-2. Nuts scenes. There you go. Thanks very much. Leeds go away to Bournemouth and do exactly the Bournemouth of what Bournemouth did to us at Ellen Road. So, and Tyler Adams looked very unhappy at the end, didn't he? God love him, his little head. I felt so sorry for him, But well. Need to improve for Sunday, says John. Yeah, we do. We do need to improve for Sunday. We looked a little leggy, but again, I do think we've got to maybe give them a little bit of a break on this one and say, look, I think that's one of the best performances any team's put in against us this season at Bournemouth. I genuinely thought that's just wave after wave after wave after wave of attacks from them. So, yeah, I think Bournemouth probably deserved an awful lot more from that game than they got. That's Leeds this season, isn't it? Leeds just don't give up. Leeds don't give you the chance to enjoy yourself for too long. And they just keep coming, Leeds, even when they've been punched into a corner and get, a handful of chances. What many chances do we have in the game? 2 big chances for Leeds, 2 goals, whole shots 10. Their goalkeeper makes 2 saves in the entire match. So, yeah, absolutely. They'd far more of it. But, as people say when I have a little go at us when we get a positive result, point to point. Take that. You have to win the most important stat on the board, which is the goal scoring one, and we got it. Clean Burns saying Ariola is a top manager with Flush Bournemouth. Yeah, I think Ariola is one of the best managers in the Premier League. Genuinely, I think his style of play is fantastic. I think he's defensively sound. I think he has them as fit as they're ever going to be. I think Marco Rose going in the next season is a very different manager. So, yeah. Yeah. So we get to some of your comments now, and we'll have a bit of a chat. We'll work back a bit because there was loads of comments before we even came in. So we get back to the very start now. We'll jump back into the front. Longstaff bangs it in. Tyler Adams, enjoy that karma. Absolutely. One step closer. Solid point, safe now. Smash the like, says Danny Rumsey. Appreciate it, Danny. Thanks very much. United are back. Eliu Taz says, thanks, Jer. I don't know how I got through that. My blood pressure. Yeah, I'm the same, mate. Adams looked a bit grizzly. Grizzly Adams. Very nice like that. What a game. What a game, says Robert. Absolutely. David says, you're out to buy a Fitbit. Your ratings would be unbelievable. Blake says, we're actually catching breaks this year. Well, Daniel Farke has talked about this, hasn't he? About the need for Leeds to stop being Leedsy and break that narrative and get rid of it. And we are breaking that narrative this year. I mean, we're conceding late goals and then we're scoring again, or we're conceding late to West Ham and then we're going on to win the game, or we're conceding against Manchester United. We don't throw that game away. We're into an FA Cup semi-final. There are lots of Leedsy things that are being broken. Massive point tonight. Don't know how we did it, but who cares? So Burnley are now confirmed as down. Are they confirmed as down? I haven't seen that. Have that Adams? Yeah, that's some team. Burnley are down. Darlow was man of the match tonight. So solid. Never give up this lot. Great, we never give up and grab that draw. DM we trust. DF we trust. I'm assuming it's supposed to be. Is the language of Eurovision Noof? Robert says this is gonna be a boost. Yeah, that's a draw that feels like a win. in the sentiment towards the end of the game. With the way that goes in like that, how the feeling switches from a disappointed to that's great. Pierre says it is clear that we are not far off the top 6, and the development we need is made clear. Yeah, we need to just make sure we start picking up easy results against the sides in the bottom half of the table, because we've been very good against the sides in the top half. Steve says, not the most convincing performance, but what a team spirit. Never say die. NY Job says, love it. Daylight robbery, but love it. Bournemouth looked so good. They did look good. Jerry says, yes. Karen says, great fight back from our players. Brian Taft, good afternoon to you, or evening to you, Brian. I'll give you a text back in a minute, mate. Brian's one of my friends. Darlow deserves a bumper new contract. One goalkeeper to another, Brian. Brian was a very good goalkeeper in his day, by the way. Carl says, big up DM tonight. Done. Good job. Absolutely. Rodon was incredibly poor tonight, miles off. Yeah, it comes on in the middle of a game when you're under that much pressure. It's hard to get up to the speed of that. And they were coming at the speed, but yeah, did enough. Darlow, man of the match. We were garbage tonight, says Darren. I think they were very good. But yeah, we weren't not our best night at all. 85 cents for a stinking soda, says, I'll take the positive result over performance. Certainly at this stage of the season. Yeah, get a job done. I love Leeds. Whole team was off it. Yep. I said 2-2 in analysis. Glad that I was right. I said 3-1 Leeds in the end. I went for 1-1, and then I backtracked. No, I didn't. I went 1-1. 3-1 was last week. Roland came back too soon, possibly. The team just don't quit. 40 points. Woot. Out losing the ball for the first goal, but hey, we got lucky. Yeah, but he loses the ball, but he's a very good game outside of that. I was surprised Bogle was off colour. Injured. We know he was injured now. Kicked the arse Chelsea into the semis. Jim, good evening to you, mate. Says, never doubted Longstaff. I know, yeah. Motto, says Carl, I think the Falling Apart song is now Never Tear Us Apart. Richard says, apparently we played some Southern softies who are in form tonight. Does anyone know who they are? And Leeds and Hemi says, we weren't garbage. I don't know what some of you expect. Bournemouth are very good. Yeah, I think there's two sides to football. What a volley from Longstaff. Non-toe shot. I would say we weren't our best tonight. We definitely weren't. But they were very, very good. Bloody hell, when Longstaff makes full contact, I know, right? Leeds down South Africa says, just rewards for the late equalizer at Elland Road. I'll start with tongue out. There's so many comments to get you. I won't get through all your comments, but I appreciate you spending your time with me and going through these. Dale says, don't think the boys were even going to play at 100% with the FA Cup to play for. I think it's possible. Farke was so annoyed. Yeah, Tanaka lost the ball for the first goal, but his tackle saved him. That's very true. That is very true. So it evens itself out. Andy says, not sure we were that bad. Bournemouth were very good. I agree with you on that one. Eddie says, glad to get a draw with a late leveler by Longstaff. I thought we were fortunate tonight. Adams given it all at one stage. Egg on his face when Leeds equals. I know, it's just, is that sweeter? Like, is 1-0 with Adams not involved in it good? And then with the fact that he looks stupid at the end of it all, is that a little bit sweeter? Because I really wanted someone to go through him. I don't generally look for players to injure or hurt other players or smash them, but special place for Tyler Adams. Eddie Bauer says, glad to get the draw with a late. I've already read you, Eddie. You're not getting to. Come on, Eddie. Come on. Juggler said, I thought we looked very tired and off the pace in the first half. I would agree with you on that. Mr. Anthrop says, Bournemouth are a right team. That was a top result. They would have, if they'd beaten us, they'd go top 6. Top 6. Massive. Payback for Ellen Road 2-2. Juggler says, the season has swung. We lost games and drew games earlier in the season. Now we are getting results and points in games like this where we are second best. Yeah, I mean, if you go back to last season as well, like Daniel Farke's sides tend to start seasons relatively slowly. But they tend to finish seasons pretty well, with the exception of the playoff season. We don't talk about that, though. And Sven says, impressive of Bournemouth. I mean, take a look at what kind of players they've sold. They lost their entire backline and goalkeeper last year. All of them. They've done a great job to rebuild it and keep playing the way they do. Lost last 2 seasons. So a stolen point to our Leeds boys, but who cares? Dublin 1 on a bike says, if we lose Tanaka in the summer, I'll go crazy. I don't think we will. Ace point that. Top half first. LUF edits says, I don't think we deserve that, but I will take it. A win against Burnley keeps us up a record. That's exactly where I am. I said, beat Wolves, drop Bournemouth, beat Burnley, you're safe. And I still think that. Nearly there. And Pierre says they can get 32 points if they win all. West Ham United are on 33. Burnley. Thank you, Pierre. Appreciate that. Who is this Tyler person? Mr. Whitesnake Steve says, I'm glad you were in that watch along, Steve. Thanks, mate. Annie Riek says it was never going to finish 2-1 because something predicted it. He's always right. I've got his predictions done, by the way. I think he's presented, it's like, has Leeds on 17 points this season. 17. That's how far off he's been. Chelsea don't stand a chance on Sunday. Farke always finish the season strong. There you go, Dale. Yeah. I agree with you on that one. And Billy McKelvey. Sorry, Billy. Billy McKelvey says, thanks, Jer. Big result against the top 7 sides. Still hoping for 14th place. I mean, you never know. We're looking up, not down. Adam's a clown. You're not missed by Leeds. He's not. He's really not. I think we've got Ethan Ampadu, far better player. Great result. That's a Bournemouth team. That is a Bournemouth team. Shane Racina got growth. Isn't it? Isn't it just? I genuinely wish Tyler Adams a good night's sleep. I think he's such an angry little guy right now. Yeah. And Tasha says, yeah, I was like you. I was hoping Adams got creamed. Let's just go, just smash into him early. Just sort him out, you know? Confidence sky high. Yeah, it will be. It will be. It absolutely will be. Kershaw, good evening to you, mate. Hope you're doing well. About time we had some luck. What a hit from Longstaff. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And Mr. Antrim said, we're up. We're up now on the FA Cup semi to look forward to. I mean, not a bad season. Not a bad season. And Jeff Calvert says, had a feeling before kickoff we might lose tonight. Bournemouth were good, but we dug in and kept going. We absolutely did. And Richard says, we got a point at Arsenal. We got a point. Arsenal lost to them the other week. Yeah, they're a good side. That's not sugarcoat it. They're a really good side. Really good side. Played lovely football. And if you're a neutral watching that game, that's a cracking game of football. We'll take it. We needed it. We got it. Move on now. So move on now to the weekend against Chelsea, who have a new manager, or at least a caretaker manager in charge going into the semi-final of the FA Cup. Fingers crossed they play the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks. I would have rather Racina stay in place, to be completely honest with you. But I'm very happy with that tonight in terms of the points. It gets us where we need to get to. There's been games this season where we've been the better side and haven't got the points that we deserve. We now get to focus on the FA Cup and we get to go and have a proper crack at that one. And you never know. Leeds are turning Leedsy things around. You just never know. So we'll go into that with confidence. Back tomorrow morning with the Leeds news. You can check out today's if you want. A lot of tomorrow's news will likely just be the fallout from this. But there is some interesting stuff being talked about with Krejci as well, by the way. There seems to be some activity there. Could be Leeds' first signing of the summer if the reports are to be believed. And I would sprinkle lots of salt on that at this point, but you never know. But yeah, look, job done. Pressure on everybody else going into the weekend. We can focus on the FA Cup. That's what we got to do. Folks, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Really, really appreciate it. If you could smash a like on the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. If you haven't downloaded Analysis and you want to be involved in the channel's match ratings and player of the year, you can get involved in that if you want it. Right. I will talk to you soon. Thanks very much for spending your time with me. I will see you later. Have a lovely evening and sleep well. Talk to you then. Bye.